Normally, every day, I try to do like time-lapse videos or an opinion piece. But today, I want to do a video about a topic that I never really do a topic about because, frankly, I'm not very good at it, and that's math. Now, this isn't a math education video, but this is more along the lines of we don't, in America, we're horrible. We don't do applicable math. So, with the advent of Common Core, we come up with a lot of problems, and then we tell kids to start from a solution and work backwards, or start with answers, and then think about like 20 different ways to solve them. However, we need to start teaching applied math because whenever I was younger, for example, whenever I was in school, we learned about Steve that was going this way and Bob that was going this way, right? And then the question was is that if Steve is going 60 miles an hour on a train and Bob was going 40 miles on a train, at what point would they cross? At what point would they meet? Here's the question. What are Bob and Steve doing that taking two different trains, going two different directions at two different speeds, we need to know when they're going to meet, when they're going to cross? Does Bob have a coffee out his hand and he's like, Steve, a hot one for the office? No. Instead, we need to do something a little bit more like this. Alright, so, if you're in kindergarten, you start with a shape, right? So, let's say a triangle. Alright. And then if you're in first grade, well, let's go ahead and let's make this a highway, right? Like that. Okay? And then, we'll go ahead and we'll add this, and this could be a on-ramp. Okay, so we almost have our same problem, except now it's applicable. Because here's the thing about it, is if Bob is trying to merge on, and Steve is going this way, then how fast is Steve, how fast is Steve going that he'll meet Bob? And they'll eventually crash. Right there. Because Bob doesn't take the time to accelerate and do a proper merge. Or, let's take it from another standpoint. Steve is driving on the highway, and Bob accelerates so that he can pass him and do a proper merge. And then Steve, at the last minute, decides to accelerate so that Bob can't get in front of him. And then we could expand on it from there. After the eventual collision, how many newtons of force did Steve hit Bob? And then we could take it into mathematics, and that's physics. And then we could take it into finance after that. How much damage was done? And then we could get a little bit deeper, okay? After the impact, how much damage was done? How much are Bob and Steve's copays going to be? Now, given the fact that Bob and Steve are in America, their healthcare might not be the absolute best for what their insurance will cover, so then let's follow it up with doctors' copays afterwards. How much are their premiums going to go up? How much? And so, you could tell that this is real life applicable math. is Steve gonna hand Bob a coffee out of a train window, but something that if Bob doesn't watch and prepare for Steve to be completely ridiculous, or if Steve doesn't drive the right way and let Bob merge on, then in that case, uh, you know, these are real life scenarios. And that is something that a kid is never going to look at in class and say, well, when am I ever going to use this? So, just in case you can't tell, I tried merging onto the highway today, and someone was going a particular speed, and as I was speeding up to merge on properly, you know, they sped up to cut me off, and I had to, you know, I had to honk at them or whatever. But yeah, and then after that, they slow down. After after I slowed down to let them pass me, and I was able to get around, they slowed down. Yeah. So that's all kinds of math that I think we should be teaching our kids, and not Bob and Steve trying to have a morning coffee together through train windows. I don't know. Go ahead. Let me know what you think. That being said, good morning, everyone. I hope you have a great day.